This next topic, it can feel difficult to talk about, but we believe that it's truly important. It's reported that 1 in 7 children will experience sexual abuse by the time they turn 18. And while we've made progress in prevention education, there's one area that's growing quickly and becoming difficult to stay ahead of. That's online abuse. Emily Bell McCormick is the founder of the Policy Project, a nonprofit organization that advocates for equitable policies for children, families, and communities. Welcome, friend.
Thank you.
Happy to have you. This is a sensitive topic. I can't think of anybody better to speak on it in such a way. Last year, the Policy Project helped pass Senate Bill 205, Child Sexual Abuse Prevention Amendments. Although this is a heavy topic, you say that the good news is that prevention does work.
Yeah, exactly. I think this is one thing that as parents, we all freeze because it's like, I don't want to talk about it because I don't want to think about it.
Yeah.
It's just such a weird topic and we don't know how to approach it. But the whole entire idea around prevention is developing confidence for your kids when they're online and confidence for you as a parent that you know what to do. It's not about fear, it's about confidence.
Yeah, and that education piece, right? Sometimes we don't want to talk about it, like you
Exactly.
said, but when we talk about it, it becomes something we can talk about.
100%, and it becomes so much more normal for your kids. And that is one of the biggest takeaways with this. When you're working with kids, having a lot of little conversations is a lot more impactful than one huge, like, we're gonna sit down and have the talk about what's happening online.
Right.
It's so much more impactful to like dive in and really start chatting with them a little bit at a time.
Yeah.
Start asking them, who do they like to follow? What do they like to look at? But then also ask and make it very normal to say, have you ever gotten a weird message? Has anyone said something weird to you or something mean to you?
Right.
Do you know how to block someone or report someone? Are you friends with people who are actually your friends? Like those simple little things and making it super normal makes it easier on your kids. And I just have to say that with kids, they sometimes look at us and they're like, you're a grandma.
Yeah, you're out of touch, lady.
You don't even know what's going on. So like, don't even ask. But the reality is when we just make it so normal to chat about it, it's normal for them to tell us more about it because they're like, oh, you kind of know what's going on.
Yeah, you're in the
so
loop.
It breaks it down.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Oh, so smart. You have simple ways to prevent online abuse. First, you say we need to talk early and often. We talked about that one, but you also recommend tech-free zones in the home. What does that look like?
Yeah, so there are a couple things that you can do with this. I really think of it as like almost tech-free time. And so when you think about when does abuse happen? Abuse happens when kids are alone on their devices, right? It happens when they feel isolated or like nobody knows what goes on a phone or online. And so keeping phones like out of their bedrooms, especially at night, when you're tired, you're a parent, you just want to go to bed, you want to go to sleep. Just have a place where they can like set their phone. This is a very like normal thing. But the other thing is like, you know, set aside maybe dinner, you know, just dinner and maybe Sundays or a Saturday or something where they can take a break. But I think one of the cool things to think about is maybe set up a tech zone. Like this is your tech zone. So the couch, hey, you can be on your phone. You just need to be on the couch. Like I'm going to be in the kitchen or I'm going to be in the office and I'm right next to that. Just make a place where it feels like safe for them to be on their phones.
Oh, I love that. What a great tip. This next one feels important. Teach us about the 3-question rule.
Oh, this is so this is kind of a good one for kids. When they're debating, you know, if you sit down with your kids and you're chatting about this, and when they're debating like, should I send something? Should I post something? Just ask them to ask themselves these 3 questions. 1, would I send it to my grandma? 2, would I send it to my teacher? And 3, would I want this to be like live beyond me, be there in 20 years? And I will say on that last one, it's really hard for like a 10-year-old to think about that. So another reframing of that is just to say like, would I want to see this picture of my mom or dad?
Yeah.
You know, would I want to think that my mom or dad did this?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that kind of gives them some context for like, what is appropriate to send? What is, you know, what should I be doing online?
And the gravity of this is on the internet. This can live on, this is not going away. Even if you delete it, right?
Exactly.
Like this is still living on there. It kind of gives a gravity to that kind of post and text and things like that.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I think that some of those things that we're so afraid to talk about, like exploitation, you know, or sextortion or grooming, like these relationships where people really get online and they try to develop trust with our kids, you know, and then they use that to exploit them. They're so real. And so helping kids understand, kids, when you give them those whys, like this is why we don't post things like this.
Yeah.
This is why somebody might take advantage of us. Most people, no. Usually the world is pretty safe and like pretty amazing, but there are these cases, and so you want to use some thought around that before a classmate goes and shares this with everyone.
Oh, Emily, thank you so much. An important conversation. We're grateful for you for having it.
Thank you
friend.
so much.
Where can we learn more?
Thepolicyproject.org.
So great. Thanks,
Thank
friend.
you.